Today, we are focusing on Mali and their plans to secure its autonomy and strength by establishing an armament assembly industry. The Malian government, under transitional President Assimi Goïta, aims to reduce reliance on foreign weapon imports by assembling its own. This move aligns with Mali's broader goal of asserting its sovereignty, a vision shared with neighboring Burkina Faso and Niger, forming a strong alliance that challenges the influence of former colonial powers like France. Historically, many African nations have been economically and politically controlled by former colonial powers. For example, French-speaking African nations often feel pressured to maintain close ties with France, sometimes to their detriment. At this juncture, we would like to ask our viewers to please subscribe, comment, and let us know what you think, now as we continue. However, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have pushed back against this, kicking out French influence and focusing on self-reliance. Mali's new weapon assembly plan is a step towards ensuring they can protect themselves without external dependence, much like Russia and North Korea use their military capabilities to assert their global positions. In life, it's crucial to cultivate strength. Without it, you risk being bullied, pushed around, or told what to do. The world isn't inherently kind, and those perceived as weak often become targets. It's an unfortunate reality that people tend to exploit those who appear weaker than themselves. While it may sound controversial, some argue it's better to raise a child who's assertive, even at the risk of being labeled a bully, than to raise one who becomes the victim of bullying. This perspective stems from first-hand experiences with the impact of weakness. For example, one person recounted how their older brother was constantly bullied by his own friends. This brother lacked the strength to stand up for himself, and as a result, he endured insults and mistreatment, even verbal abuse directed at their family. Witnessing this powerlessness left a lasting impression, reinforcing the idea that strength, whether physical, emotional, or even symbolic, shapes how others perceive and treat you. In society, and even on an international level, power often dictates respect. This notion translates into how nations interact on the global stage, and that's why Mali has taken these steps. The Malian government plans to establish weapons assembly factories to produce armaments domestically rather than relying on imports makes sense. It's a strategic decision and reflects a desire for self-sufficiency and strength, ensuring Mali can defend itself and lessen its dependence on foreign powers. The project, spearheaded by transitional President Assimi Goïta, is a bold step toward reducing reliance on countries like Russia and Turkey for weaponry. Mali, along with Burkina Faso and Niger, represents a coalition of nations that recently broke free from French colonial influence. These countries expelled French troops and declared their independence from the neo-colonial systems that had previously dictated their economic and political policies. France, which historically held significant control over many African nations, often leveraged its military presence to protect its interests. However, Mali and its allies refused to play by those rules, choosing instead to prioritize sovereignty, even at the risk of international backlash. This independence hasn't come without challenges. France, alongside ECOWAS, a coalition of West African countries, has accused neighboring nations like Nigeria and Benin of harboring French special forces with the intent of destabilizing Mali's leadership. To counter such threats, Mali has closed its borders to certain neighbors and emphasized building domestic strength, including arms manufacturing. The decision to assemble weapons locally reflects a broader effort to reduce external influence and foster a sense of unity and mutual support among Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. On the other hand, Ghana has faced its own challenges. Recently, soldiers unalived 7 illegal miners in southern Ghana. According to reports, the miners, armed with locally made weapons, breached security at a gold mining site in the Ashanti region and fired upon a military patrol. The soldiers retaliated, leading to the casualties. The incident has sparked calls for an investigation, as the Ghanaian president has expressed doubt about the full context of the situation. He also instructed Anglo Gold Ashanti, the mining company involved, to cover medical expenses and burial costs for the victims. This raises broader questions about the exploitation of natural resources in Africa. In Ghana, which is one of the world's top gold producers, foreign companies often mine resources at the expense of local communities. Environmental damage, such as poisoned rivers and depleted ecosystems, has fueled tensions between locals and these corporations. While some see the miners' actions as criminal, others view them as a desperate attempt to reclaim what rightfully belongs to them. These examples illustrate the importance of strength, whether in personal resilience or national strategy. Mali's decision to build weapons and Ghana's complex struggle over resource exploitation both highlight how power dynamics influence outcomes. In today's world, the ability to assert oneself, whether as an individual or as a nation, remains a critical factor in shaping one's destiny. Please subscribe, like and comment so Insights Networks can keep bringing you insightful news stories that strike the heart of what's going on in the world. Thanks for watching.